Welcome to Jaunty Haunts, the podcast about all things supernatural. After 30 years of keeping a secret, I'm finally ready to share with the world that I see ghosts. Yep, I've been having conversations with the other side while trying to keep up appearances. This podcast is all about getting spooky and connecting with others who might also sense, see, or feel things beyond the ordinary. We'll swap true tales of the seen and unseen, and maybe even laugh about the weird stuff we've experienced. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, come join me as we explore the paranormal. Let's connect, share, and maybe feel a little less crazy together. Welcome to Jaunty Haunts.
Hey, listeners! Surprise! We've got a bonus episode for you today. Aliens. A while back in October, Sierra and I sat down to record, and we went on this huge tangent about aliens. And I know we will be talking about aliens, UFOs, and all that even more in the future. But here's just a start to the conversation. I've got my Grandma Gloria, if you remember from episode 1, telling me her firsthand alien experience, and I share mine as well. Sierra and I are giggling and having a ball as usual, and I thought this would be a great addition to the cryptid theme we're on for these 2 weeks. Also, with the ocean news and the drones everywhere, I thought, let's just talk more aliens. So send me your alien stories at jauntyhaunts@gmail.com, and stay tuned for part 2 of the Cryptids episode coming out on Monday. And if this ain't your thing, don't worry, we'll be back to ghosties very soon. The CASPER rating of this episode is 3. Enjoy! Okay, this is audio reaction to my grandma's story with Sierra. Okay, are you ready for this?
I'm so ready.
Hold on, though, because when you told me earlier, can you say the whole story again with the alien stuff, though?
With the, I woke
how,
up at 4
how
in the
old
morning.
were you? Where were you?
I was in bed. It was 4 in the morning, and I was in Tahoe in the chalet house. It was a 2-story, and I was downstairs in the bedroom, and that's where I slept. And I woke up at 4 in the morning, and I look up from my bed laying there, and here's this alien, white, big black eyes, and I'd never seen an alien before. Big black eyes, white, I don't know if a white robe or white, anyway, long skinny arms, long legs, and just hanging above me. And then what I did was I hid my head. I got scared to death, and I prayed.
Yeah.
I prayed, and I got out of the bedroom and called. That's back when Jim had his own house, and I called him up, and he came. He walked over because he couldn't drive because of his eyes.
Oh.
And he walked over to where I was, which was a ways from Sierra Boulevard. I was over by the Keys, and so he came, and I felt better, then. So, but then I'd never seen it since then.
Wow. That is so creepy. That's because I feel like it's weird how we all see that same type of alien. It's just weird.
Yeah, because my dad, when I told, because I didn't tell everyone this stuff, because my family all thinks I'm weird already.
I know everybody judges us. Yeah.
And so I told my dad, Grandpa Joe. I don't know if you remember Grandpa Joe, but
yeah.
He always watched all that kind of stuff, and he's told me that's the kind of aliens he's been seeing on TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, because I didn't even know, what they look like.
Right.
I wasn't making it up.
No, yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're crazy.
But you tell some people, and it's like they think you're all crazy and weird because, they don't have that happen to them, I guess.
Yeah. It's just like everything with people. If they don't see it, they don't believe it, but.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do, again, have experiences that are similar. They're just too afraid to talk about it, which is why I'm like, let's all talk about it. Might as well, whatever.
Yeah.
I say we'll all feel a little less crazy together.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's for sure. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So creepy. Like what I think what she was trying to say, which was hard to describe, was like she kept saying, I've never seen an alien before. Like even in like pop culture or media or movies, like, she hadn't really seen like what a quote unquote alien was.
Oh.
So she told her dad, I saw this thing above my bed, and he said, oh, that sounds like all the alien stuff I've been watching. I think you saw an alien.
What?
Yeah. Like she wasn't even like, you know, accustomed to or familiar with like what an alien was or what it would quote unquote look like, other than, you know,
So there wouldn't have been like any influence, you know.
I feel like so slightly, but I am curious, and I know like, and this had been like halfway through a 2-hour phone call. Like it really took a lot to get her to open up about all of this, especially because, you know, people call her crazy or they're really mean about it, you know? So it's
awful.
like, it's hard to get those details really clean and clear, but I'm like, wait, robes or cloak or like what?
Yeah, that's interesting.
What was it like wearing? Yeah, but she said it had like the big black eyes. I think I told her about the ones.
long like finger.
Limbs. So that's my grandma.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy, right? Crazy.
It's crazy,
alien
and
story.
also like how scary in general to have that experience, but
girl,
I know you said you just taped it lightly, but that is freaky. It's freaky. There's a poster that just fell off the wall. Freaky.
It's because it's covering a calendar, which is like not public domain material. It's a TV show calendar. And so I didn't want it to be in the background because it's just Andy Dwyer. So
because we initially were gonna be on the couch.
Because we were gonna film over there. So I just like very loosely, lightly taped another thing on top of it.
Well, I think that there's an invisible little alien there that went, I'm not scary. I'm real.
Or I am scary and I'm real. It's like that goblin story you sent me of that woman who saw like the little white goblin.
I was literally just rewatching that on the way here, actually.
Bro, what the hell?
What the heck?
A goblin.
A goblin?
I'm trying to think if I've had any. I don't think I've had any experience with like goblins. I feel like fairies are like the closest, like little fairies, but not like full on.
Have you seen anything like that?
No.
Me neither. I used to play fairies.
Yeah.
And pretend I was a fairy, and I always wished that I could see one. But I've never seen one. Just like
you should do it stuff now to try to like see one, make a relationship with one, especially because
What
you
do
live
you
by
mean?
that big, beautiful park. Like there's like
Oh yeah, if there are fairies that exist, they're in the park by me.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Let me tell. One time, sorry, this is not. Okay, one time, like when I first moved there, to like 5 years ago, I was walking my dog and it was rainy and like the park was empty, and it was like super foggy, like magical, and I saw a slug that was like this big, and it was like leopard print. No, it was beautiful. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I always look in that same... I've never seen... That was the only one I've never seen. I don't even really see slugs there anymore. Like, I don't know. I just never...
Slugs are yucky. No, it was so baby.
and
slug is not so baby.
It is. And so are snails. They're living beings. I used to cry if I would accidentally step on a snail.
Yeah, that is always just like alarming. Like, oh, like
I feel really bad. That's not
quickness
fair.
of murder there. Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. But I always thought it was so magical. Yeah, and I was like, man, what if that's like a fairy's pet?
A fairy's steed.
Get it up.
Just all of us going together.
That's too fast. This sucker was like...
Hi, this is Brian O'Connor.
And I'm Michael Duran.
Horror fans, it's time to get your fix with Opening Kill, the new podcast where we dissect everything terrifying in the world of horror.
From the latest movie news to an in-depth look at a feature film and a peek at chilling horrors to come, we've got you covered.
Whether it's gore, suspense, or supernatural thrills, Opening Kill is the ultimate horror deep dive.
Listen to Opening Kill on your favorite podcast platform every Thursday, if you dare.
Oh man, it was so cool. It was so cool. Anyway, if they exist in that park. But
Yeah.
But what do you mean? Like how?
Like you can leave offerings, like you can leave little snacks or set up little houses for them and stuff. Like there's a whole thing about fairy lore and like leaving gifts and asking for wishes and things like that. Oh. I know a lot of it comes from like Scandinavian like elf culture and lore. Have you heard about that a little bit?
I don't know.
Like it's so truthful. Like they really do believe that like if you see a little house or you see the elves or whatever, like the elves will protect you, but the elves can also be really evil.
Oh.
Like there's all of this very cool, very incredible stories that, again, we'll probably go into on an episode if we can find someone who knows more about it because it's so, I love it. I just love that kind of stuff.
I do too, and I want to live a life where I believe, I mean, I do like to believe that stuff, but like, I love that you're saying that they really believe in that stuff. That's so lovely.
My other grandma really was like a fairy girl, like was like really into fairies. Every year she'd buy me like fairy dust and fairy food and fairy stuff. Like I remember specifically I had this vial necklace and it was like silver wrapped with like leaves and vines with like a little fairy and like a crystal on the top, and it popped a cork on the top, a little cork, and it like held glitter. And
I feel like I had something like that. Yeah.
I feel like it's very 2000s core.
Yeah.
But she would always be like, yeah, fairies are real. Like say your prayers to them, ask wishes to them, like to the fairies.
So magical.
Yeah. Yeah. She was always about that and like Santa Claus and all of that, like very keeping like pure magic alive. And I remember we watched that movie. What was that movie? Like the Fairies in the Garden one. Do you know what movie that is? It's like British orphans. Maybe.
What? British Orphans Fairy Garden?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, wait. So that was the fun. That was my grandma's alien story. That's kind of funky, right?
Dude. Spooky.
Weird, right?
Spooky. I can't. Here's the thing. I cannot imagine going through that. I cannot fathom what it would be like to wake up and see that in anywhere.
Above your bed, yeah.
Anywhere, but especially in my space.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And I told her later in that call, which I didn't get recorded, unfortunately, but basically what I said was like, yeah, I remember seeing aliens in that bedroom with you too when I was little. Do you remember me waking up like crying and telling you about how I saw the alien in the corner? And she goes, oh yeah, Cord, I felt so bad. That's why we had to get out of there. That's why we moved. It's part of why we moved. So like it wasn't a one-time occurrence either.
Oh my God. Do you think it's just like the location?
I think it's her. I think they like her. But I think that when she lived with my grandpa, they came less because I think, I think they got weirded out that there was a man there. So, or she maybe just because she like wasn't alone, or I don't know, because she had been with a different husband before that too. So I really don't know.
Okay, do you remember seeing them?
Yes.
So
the last time I saw, I guess we're talking cryptids, that's okay. The last time I saw an actual alien was like in 2020.
What?
Yeah. We not talked about this?
No! Are you kidding me?
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that. So that bedroom, right, when I was little, that would happen all the time, right? I'd start to fall asleep, and I would be like, right at that point of sleep and wake, and I feel like I'd hear like a door creak or like the tiniest little thing or like a rustle of like just like the littlest sound that like wakes you up, like, and I look and I would just catch it out of the corner of my eye, and it would just be like just standing in the corner, just looking down, towering down.
Oh,
she had
tall?
Oh yeah, like almost touching the ceiling tall. Yeah. Yeah, and it was like she had this poster that was like framed and like this like
rusted rose pink frame, very 90s. And it was like a garden with like 2 little girls in black and white, and like their clothes were colorful. And I remember because like it was blocking that poster. And I remember being like, it's because again, in my little head mind with like little kid mind with like the ghosts, and like I'd see the shadow figures at my house where I live. So I was like, oh, like it's just like that. It's just like that. But I knew it was different because it felt so corporeal. It felt so like I'm also here. But it would just like watch us. Just fucking watch us.
Did you ever see it move?
Yes. Oh, I'm getting chills. I'm like really going into this now.
Is this okay that we're talking about this? If it's not, you can set the boundary.
The thing I've noticed that when I talk about them, I feel like I see them more. So like I'm just throwing that out there. But I also feel safer because we're in New York and there's so many people. Like when it's scarier when you're in the middle of nowhere and that kind of stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
But no, I remember one time there was a night where I think it did sort of start coming. I don't know if it was like levitating, floating, or if it just was stretching, but it started to come over the bed at this angle and its face started coming over my face. And I started screaming bloody murder. And my grandma woke up and was like, Court, it's okay. And like, as she was like shaking me, like it went away. So then again, I'm like, maybe it was just a nightmare. But like, why?
Right.
And the same one over and over again?
That's weird.
And like, I had seen again, like normal media imagery of aliens, right? Of like in a comic book or whatever. But like, I had never like watched like an actual movie with aliens. Oh, but this is fun. So after that happened and I would see them at her house. And it's funny too, because I would tell her, I saw an alien. And my grandma's eyes would get big and be like, no, you didn't, Court. You're okay. No, you didn't. Like gaslighting me 110% because I think she didn't want
to bring it in.
Yeah. But she'd be like, no, that's not what it was. It was something else. Just pray to the God, pray to the angels. And so that's why it's funny even listening back to that, right? Her being like,
she's like,
I just prayed. I don't know. Because it's like, what do you do, right? But I remember going to a sleepover at my friend's house in Discovery Bay, and there was like the Scooby-Doo and the Aliens episode, like the movie version. Maybe it was just a normal episode, but they had it on like a DVD or whatever. And I started crying. I was like, I can't watch this one. And they were like, why? I was like, because they're going to get me.
Aww.
And she was like, oh my God, like, what a baby, you know? And I was like, no, I can't. And so they were watching it. And I remember just like sitting in the corner, like, like crying under my breath, like trying to like look at the ground. Because I was so scared that like that was going to make them like come to us.
That's awful.
I know. And I still get triggered. I remember even like Jordan and I were doing like a Scooby-Doo RPG. And we were watching some episodes of Scooby-Doo and I was like, we can't watch that fucking alien one. I was like so triggered. I was like, we're not watching that episode.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so then the last time I saw them was in LA. I had friends who I'm hoping we'll have on the pod eventually. They're great, but they were super into all this woo-woo stuff. One of them is like a fantastic, amazing, incredible psychic, and I'm really hoping we can have her on.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, her name's Gabby. Shout out Gabby. But she like literally would go to like church as a child and like convey messages from God to people who are there asking like, help my mother heal, and Gabby would be like, oh, God says no, she's gonna die. Like, this is total speculation. I'm just making up an example.
I was like, shit.
Gabby's gonna be like, Courtney, what the fuck? No, but I remember telling something about like some church stories, so I'm curious to ask her if we can get her on. But yeah, seriously, like so in touch with all of this to like the nth degree. Like I'm in awe of her abilities. But we would talk about the aliens, and Gabby was like, of course they're real. Like, they're like, you can communicate with them. You can talk to them. You can ask them for things. And I was always like, no. And my friend Lily would be like, yeah, don't fuck with the Greys. That's what she called them, the Greys. Don't fuck with the Greys.
Why?
I don't know. Like, it was just like, what I remember her saying basically, the reason that they come here all the time is because they're so like they don't know what emotion is or feeling.
Oh, I don't like that.
And so they study us. Yeah. And because they don't understand why we feel things. And that's why they like, I know. That's why it's like.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
I know. I get really grossed out. But they like, yeah, they don't understand. And so they're like, oh, what are these things? Like, what do they, like what happens if we do this? Does that hurt? Like, you know what I mean? Because like they don't experience emotion or things like that. So that's why she's like, don't fuck with the Greys, because like they literally don't feel anything. Like they'll do whatever they want to.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, I don't either.
Go away.
You tell them.
Poopy! You are poopy!
But anyway, I'd been talking with them a lot, and they said the more you talk about them, the more that like they'll come to find you, right?
No!
I know! This is why I try not to talk about it, but we're doing it right now. We're gonna get out of the way and get it done.
Yeah.
But we had been talking about it a lot. So it was like right after my car accident, and I was on a lot of painkillers. So like Percocet. I was on the perks.
The perks.
And so there were like a few nights where I'd be trying to sleep, and I saw like a small one.
Oh.
Almost looked like a child one, like standing on one of my dressers in my room.
I don't like it.
And I was like, I'm just high. There's no way. I have not seen an alien since I was like a baby, like, you know, since I was like 6. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't like this. And it would like hop up, jump down, and go to my window and then like run out.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember there was like a couple times where I would like wake up and like the window would be open.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm also on Percocet. So like, did I open the window because I was hot and then get back in bed? Like, I don't know.
I feel like you would remember that if you remember seeing aliens.
I don't remember a lot from those drugs though.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it. Tiny one.
That's the goblin.
Yeah, it
is. So yeah, that's the alien stuff.
Ew.
Have you watched like these like I mean you love not Twin Peaks? What's the one?
X-Files.
X-Files? Like that's all. It's all like mostly alien stuff, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of alien stuff there. Yeah.
But you're not into it. Like what do you think about?
No,
I
am. Oh, I know. I definitely am. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really fascinated by it. I think it's crazy to assume that we're the only living beings in this universe.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't seen anything, but I am so fascinated by it. And the government literally
said that they're real.
said that they were real.
Yeah.
Actually, I was on a plane this weekend.
Yeah.
And the whole time I was looking out the window, because I'm a window seat gal, I was just like trying to will myself to see a UFO. I was like, and I saw like a shadow. I realized it was the shadow from the plane that I was in, because we were like sort of low
above the clouds.
And I was like, is that a UFO? No,
I still feel like we did see one at your birthday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know my my fiance was like, "There's an airport."
A plane.
I was like, "I don't."
But it
think
was
so.
like hovering right there. Like I have videos.
Yeah.
We'll post them. But it was literally just like, no, we won't because it's a plane.
It's probably just a plane.
No, but it did. It was like green and it was just floating there, and it was like not moving. And there was like 8 of us, and we were all watching, and we're like, "Has it moved yet?" And we're like, "No."
I don't know. I like to think it was a UFO.
Yeah, me too.
One time actually, when I was, well, maybe it's nothing, but I was camping with my dad. It's called the Alabama Foothills. It's not in Alabama. It's in California, but they're sort of at the base of Mount Whitney, like in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And so my dad and I don't know if you can still do this, but we went out and just slept in our sleeping bags under the stars. Yeah. It was really cool, man. And you could see the whole night sky. But my dad and I were looking, and I saw something in the sky. I think what it was I was like trying to take a picture of like the moon or something, which that never goes well. But there was something that was popping up on my camera that I couldn't see with my eyes. And I thought that was weird.
Oh, that is weird.
But like it was every single time. I was like, well, maybe and I would like try from like different angles, and it
just kept popping up on your screen like it was locating something or something. Like,
yeah, like you know when you like try to take a picture of the moon and it's just like a light, it just looks like a you know, you can't see any details. Like that was popping up, but it wasn't the moon. It was something else in a specific location, and I don't know, man. It was, I always felt weird about that. I was like, that feels like something.
Yeah.
It was just weird. I don't know.
We definitely thought we saw a UFO when we were in Santa Maria.
Really?
Yeah, Jordan and I, we were in the hot tub, and he was like facing, you know, one way, and I was facing him, and I was watching his face, and his whole face lit up bright blue and green, and he was like, and I was like, what? And I turned, and there was just like this weird like trail of like color that just kind of like dissipated and then went off. And he was like, I think I just saw a UFO. And I was like, oh my God, what? He's like, yeah, I don't know what that was. That was really weird. And I was like,
so cool.
But like literally, I'm not exaggerating when I say like his whole body lit up like green and blue. Like it was like, it looked like fireworks were going off right above us. It was that bright, all out of nowhere.
That's wild.
Yeah.
People in my hometown in California, I'm from the desert, the high desert, and people see stuff out there all the time. My cousin said he saw something in the desert. One time I was at my favorite little coffee shop waiting. Tim was visiting with me, and he was getting his hair done at the barber across the street. So I was sitting there, and this guy started talking to me, and I don't know why, but like he seemed like a really nice, normal guy, but he was just making conversation and was telling me how from where we were seated a few weeks prior, he had seen a UFO, a few UFOs actually, pop up, and he said it was like one, but then it split into three, and all of a sudden they went so fast in like different directions. What? But the how fast they traveled, he's like, for the amount of distance it covered in that time, like that's not possible. And we have our Edwards Air Force bases by us too. So, you know, it's like, could it be something to do with that?
This is the stuff that pisses me off about the government, though. It's like, hey, if you're going to be doing like military fighter jet tests or like practices or things like that, like, I don't know, you don't want to like do like a social media post or something. If it's like,
but it wasn't that. It like specifically wasn't. And I know too, like, we growing up there, we know when they're doing stuff. We know what the fighter jets sound like. We would get sonic booms all the time. That's something that happens.
Okay.
And he was like, this wasn't that. This was not that.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like he said something about it coming like up with like behind a cloud, which is crazy. Yes. Like, did you see that movie, the Jordan Peele movie Nope?
Yes. Ooh, that.
Yeah. So he was like, he said that it came from like behind a cloud or something, or like the cloud itself then turned into, it was something crazy.
I feel like sometimes you see clouds and you just know too, like, oh, something's in that cloud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there'll be like 20 clouds and they're all just like white and fluffy, and then there's one just like cumulonimbus fucking gray dark cloud that like doesn't match any of the others and just like moving a little bit faster, and it's like, you lost, buddy? Yeah. What is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, UFO, right? 100%.
Absolutely. I don't know, man. I believe it. But the government admitted it.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
We're just sharing stories now. We're not crazy.
We're not crazy. You are.
You are.
We're going to be put on a list. I don't know, man. There's also like, again, I don't believe everything I see on the internet, but I do a lot of but No. But like I will say, like that's been coming up a lot in a lot of the like, I don't know, psychic or like spirit people that there's a lot of talk about in the next couple of years
I
that
have to
becoming
say
more
though, like
mainstream.
that is what I've been hearing like on TikTok and social media like since the days of yore. You know, like
Yeah.
I feel like that's always like they're gonna reveal themselves to us. Now.
Yeah.
Like you guys, it's coming. You don't know.
That's true.
And I'm like, it's 2024, and like
TikTok.
the first time I saw a video like this, that I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that was like 2015. You know, it's like
The only reason why I'm like, okay, possible is because of the I don't know what it was. If it was it was all of those government workers, military or whatever. Was it with Congress or Senate, something like that? Like I watched it live, them testifying and talking about what they'd seen and that they were real. And like I'm like, okay, look, I mean, if we're getting to a point where this is happening
yeah.
with Congress, I don't know, like I think it's cool.
Here's my question for you. Would you like to be like around, like what's the perfect scenario of an alien invasion for you? Like lay that out for me.
That's a really good question. It's funny because I don't think about like an invasion.
You don't?
An invasion, no. I don't know.
Okay, what about, well, let's role play, right? I'm an alien, I'm a gray. And I've come down from my ship, from my planet, and I'm like, yeah, we're ready. We're gonna, like I'm on CNN, like with Kamala Harris, and I'm like talking to the president, and I'm like, bleep, bloop, bop, bloop. And there's like a little transponder that's like, hello, I am here, and I'm revealing myself. Like what's going through your fear, excitement? Like, what are you thinking?
Probably all of the above. But if they're anything like what you described, fucking fear. I don't like that.
I'm out.
I don't want that.
I'm out.
Honestly, I just like want to see a UFO. I don't need to see an alien though. I'm good on that. But I am curious to see a UFO.
I'm so curious why people who really want to see this shit like never see it. You know what I mean?
We're too desperate. I'm too desperate. The ghosties and they all know. They're like,
they know. They're gonna tell everyone if we show.
You're doing too much, girl. No. Too desperate.
Thanks so much for listening. Remember, you are not alone if you've ever heard a bump in the night or caught something out of the corner of your eye. There are countless others who experience things they can't explain. And this podcast is your safe place to listen and share. Also, I want to remind everyone that this show is for entertainment purposes. I am not a professional paranormal investigator. I did not go to school to study this. I can only speak about my firsthand experiences. And with that, I'd love to mark the importance of spiritual inclusion. Your thoughts, ideas, and theories about the other side are welcome. And we know that so much of our common knowledge and perception about the paranormal stems from historical and cultural experiences. So we are open to your knowledge and understanding of things that we may be ignorant about or not fully understand. Let's learn and grow together. Stay spooky, and we'll see you next time. Hey ghoul friends, got a spooky story to share? Well, I want to hear about your haunts. Whether you've seen a ghost or something unexplainable, send your supernatural experiences to us at jauntyhaunts@gmail.com. That's JAUNTYHAUNTS@gmail.com. Or DM us on Instagram at jauntyhauntspod. That's jauntyhauntspod. You can also find us on TikTok and YouTube under Jaunty Haunts Podcast. I want to hear from you.
Magic is real. In 1930s San Francisco, a supernatural world exists, hidden within the mundane. Meet Norman P. Blank.
Hello,
As mundane as they get.
I'm a lawyer.
Quiet, you. Through a twist of fate, Norman is hurled headfirst into a world of magic, wonder, and danger. Will he survive? Probably not.
What?
I said quiet. Roll the tape.
You can't be pixies. They're not real.
Is this real?
I was just mugged. By pixies?
It's Machina. David X Machina.
I am Lady Blackfreeze.
A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Blank. I'm the Lord of Ash and Shadow.
You ever wonder why egg salad is so stinky?
No, not
It's
really.
pixie farts. That's why.
Damn this drink well! That'll teach you to be dirty.
A floating skull is talking to me.
Just remember, he's a friendly floating skull.
Even though the city is filled with magical creatures, they are absolute crap when it comes to paperwork.
That's where I can help.
Join us if you dare for a peek into the occult adventures of Norman P. Blank.